Welcome back, guys. This time I have a tough client. This is his ride. Well, actually, it's his brother's ride, and it hasn't been in use for probably around 7 years. And it's been hanging out in the rain and down in the basement and off to the side. And it's time to give it a new makeover so that this little guy can have his turn on it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adi. I've recently begun flipping furniture and at least teaching myself kind of the ins and outs of how it's done. On this piece, I kind of got worried all of a sudden that we're talking about lead-based paint, even though I know lead base probably wasn't on kids stuff, and it also needed to be really old. And when I checked it out, well, it showed me lead. So I took 4 different Q-tips and tested 4 times, and then the 5th time I used mineral water, like bottled water. And I think I've realized that our water has some kind of metal in it. Anyways, I felt pretty secure that this is new enough to not have lead paint on it, and the last swab showed me that it was clean, so I went in and started sanding. I wasn't sure if I was going to give it a scuff sand and then go in and prime everything, or if I could save some of the pieces and have some natural wood coming out. I know that kids' toys are usually made with like birch plywood, and I was hoping it was clean enough to be safe. Tell me guys, do you also have issues with the hose of your vacuum kind of pulling the sander a little bit up, like lifting the nose of the sander, and then you kind of feel like you're struggling with it and like fighting with the, I don't know, I just felt like I was fighting with the hose that was pulling down and I needed it to be level. This was a hard one because of all the small little pieces. Anyways, what I just did here was somewhere between testing for the places I was going to sand all the way down to bare wood and the places that I was just scuff sanding, getting it ready for primer. I was really hoping to get the wheels sanded down to bare wood and just leave them like that. I'm sure I could have used some kind of wood cleaner or whatnot, but they really suffer damage from water and just from use. And this has been in use and then in storage for over 8 years, so I was probably going to use some kind of a paint color on it. And there are all the pieces. I inspected them, saw a lot of damage, some places where the wood looked great, some places where the wood looked too damaged. And I just began with the primer. I used this Zinsser 123 primer. I love it. It goes on smooth and really does the work for me in the meantime. And while I started working, I just kind of winged it and decided which pieces I was going to leave. At the end, I only left the base clean wood, and I even added there some details that you'll see. So here's me priming. 2 layers of primer later and a little bit of a sanding, and we're ready for paint. My client, my client's mom asked for some pastel green bluish colors, and those were the exact colors I had on hand. Don't ask me why, I don't remember ever painting anything these colors, but I had them. So I had this nice pastel-y sage green, I had this turquoise and this blue, and I also had some orange, which I was hoping to put in there. At the end, I didn't use the orange and I just stuck with these greens and blues. Gave everything 2 coats and just played around with where I was going to put what color where. Really like this part. I created some details with the painter's tape that was already there, and I just winged it, and I got some stripes of blue on the natural wood, which also kind of needed to be treated a little bit. So I have natural wood and this turquoise, natural wood, turquoise, and later I added a few more details you'll see soon. That evening I binged Netflix with my girls and just wrapped these wheels so that I didn't get any paint, and I found this cute red, like matte red apple color looking spray paint which has a built-in primer, and so I just started spraying, and you'll see soon that 1 coat was not enough, 2 coats was not enough. I'm pretty sure we got 3 coats on each side. I used this arrow boho-ish kind of detail to just add a little bit of interest on the side. I felt like an arrow was kind of cute and boyish and would add a little bit of a touch. Even though I had everything taped up, there was some overspray, so I used some acetone, just nail polish acetone, and a ear cleaner thingy, and just got into all the crevices that took the paint, and that was good enough to get it all cleaned. This is my go-to primer. It's Bona Novia. It's a one-component clear lacquer, and it's actually made for decks, and it just is so forgiving and goes on so well. I gave it 2 coats, and I really trust this lacquer and enjoy using it until now on furniture pieces. And being as this piece will probably be outdoors and used frequently, I'm sure this lacquer is going to hold up really well. And then it was time to reassemble all the pieces. Let me tell you, I put these wheels on and took them off and put them on, took them off about 30 times. But why do I have to show you that part? I'll just pretend like I just snapped all the pieces together, easy peasy. And here's the final product. Let's remember for a second where we began with this little bimba. That's how we call it around here, a bimba. Bimba? Bimba. How do you guys call this? It's not a tricycle, it has 4 wheels. And here's the little guy testing it out, and I think he was quite happy in the end. Thank you guys for sticking with me all the way through. I'd love to hear what you would have done differently. What is your experience with doing these kinds of DIYs? And please do subscribe, and I'll catch you next time on Raising the Grain.